All right, we are not done with the pool house yet, but we have some major updates and I wanted to share those with you today. The EcoFlow batteries I have right now behind me are up and running. They are powering a few loads and they are receiving energy from the sun. It's all up and running and I want to explain it and just kind of walk you through how I was able to do this, what kind of results I'm seeing, and what the plan is for the future. The setup is we have our 4 solar panels up top. That comes down through this conduit. They're all networked together. It comes out into these 2 lines here, which is then plugged in to the back of the EcoFlow Delta Pro right there. So that's how we get energy in. You can see it's later in the day and we have 1.6 kilowatts. That's 4 different panels up top. And right now we're getting about 700 watts. So it's later in the day, the sun's almost down, so not a whole lot, but still not bad. These were empty this morning. You can see that we're at 95%, 98% for the backup battery. And everything is running off of this 30 amp, 120 volt output, AC output right here. So these 2 guys act in tandem where the one on the right is just a backup battery giving us extra storage. And the one on the left there is kind of the main one with the inverter and all the other bits. You can see right now it's pretty quiet. But earlier when I was trying to film, it was pretty loud. Now inside you still won't hear anything, but if you wanted to put these inside a room, I would say you'd be better off making sure whatever they're in is sort of isolated and soundproofed and all that. So we've got juice flowing out, 1.4 kilowatts of output. I'll show you what it's powering right now. And the way it works is essentially it just runs up into this RV plug right here, and that powers our little panel. So we have our own little electric panel here with all the different circuits and everything, including our mini split that we're going to be getting installed tomorrow. And before I go show you what it's actually doing, I wanted to show you this app here because the app is really cool. This is something I loved when I had Tesla Powerwalls and now with my Franklin batteries. It's just this energy flow. So you can see what is coming in and what's going out and the status of the battery, when it's going to be charged, all those kind of things. So I love how EcoFlow has spent a lot of time developing this app. There is another view that's not as cool to look at. I think this one is just really nice. You also can see that I have the 1 extra battery there. I also can control the unit from the app, which is kind of nice. So if I go over to the settings, change it from energy flow to standard, then you have the other view there that's kind of more typical, and you can see that I can actually turn things on and off. Like if I click to that AC off button right there, it would actually cut the power. You can see the 12 volt DC and everything else going on and all the USBs. So you can actually read all the energy needs and what's coming out and also what's going in. So really cool. I do love all the detail here. I'm a data guy, as you guys know. The view I actually particularly like though is just the energy flow one, not the standard one, because it's just so fun to look at. So let me show you what we're actually using this for, since the inside isn't pulling anything yet. Over here, we have an outside outlet. So this is 2 gang, 4 outlets here, 1 GFCI, 2 regular. And these guys are powering this, which is a Sonos amp, which powers the outdoor speakers. Really cool setup if you guys are interested on that. And then over here we have the cold plunge, which is still up and running. It's still going. I'm still doing this. Yes, I know it's more of a psychological benefit than a physical one, and lots of arguing on those details, but you can see if I pop this open, that's the chiller that's running right there. And we are at 59 degrees. Earlier, it was in the 60s. So I actually normally only run the chiller in the morning, but I wanted to do this just as an example to show kind of the output of what we can have from these batteries. So then when it's all said and done, what we'll have is that mini split unit up top here. We have a bunch of different outlets along the bottom. We're gonna have 4 different can lights. That's what these little whips are right there. And then in the center, we'll have a pendant or a ceiling fan or something like that. That way there's tons of light, tons of everything in here, and it's all just already wired up, ready to go. We just need to kind of do the rest of the finishes on the inside, and then we'll be good to go. There's Ace. What's up, Ace? Ace approves. So with these batteries, we have one Delta Pro, which puts out 3,600 watts or 3.6 kilowatts of AC power. That's 30 amps times 120 volts. I could network that together with another Delta Pro to get 240 at 30 amps, but it's unnecessary for this small of a space. I did consider it though. So instead of adding another Delta Pro, I added an extra backup battery. So that way we have 7.2 kilowatt hours of total storage, which should be more than enough to get us through the night, right? Because it's sunny in here, San Diego, so often. It's not something that, during the day we're going to really be worried about, especially in such a small space that's not like a main living space. So I'll put links to these batteries down into the description. Thanks EcoFlow for sending them over here. And I also want to mention one thing, because these are not made to be outside, but they are outside. It's mostly because I don't want any noise getting inside if I can avoid it. And so I'm going to be building a little structure here. It hasn't arrived yet. It was supposed to be here yesterday. So these will be covered and waterproofed and all that. But right now, essentially, this is kind of the setup, and eventually it'll all be sort of enclosed and everything, so it's safe. So if you guys are wondering about that, that's it for this one, guys. Let me know what questions you have about this project, and don't worry, yes, Jenny will be in a future video about the pool house. So stay tuned for that, and let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you back here next time.